to the Queen We've Got You podcast. I'm your host, Monique, and always I'm joined by my incredible co-hosts, Kerry and Kelly.
Hello.
Hello.
And as we promised last week, we have an incredible guest with us today, Miss Kate Piper.
Oh, hi, Queens.
Hello. Hello.
We are so excited to have you here. When we first spoke about who our guests we're going to have on the podcast, you were absolutely right up there, babe.
Oh,
So it has been a long time coming.
Look, and I'm excited to be here because I love the podcast and I love listening. And it's nice to just connect and share. It's good.
Love
it.
Love. And for anyone that doesn't know, Miss Kate, I have a bio, which Kate's bio is 4 pages long.
Wow.
I'm not joking. It is 4 pages long. For someone in their 30s, babe, you've done a lot of shit.
I know.
Yes.
I know. Some that, should we have done, but we did it anyway.
So I've asked Kate for a shortened bio, and then I added my own little bits to it, which she hasn't heard yet. So
I hope this might be my new bio. Who knows?
Oh my
this
God.
is new LinkedIn. Let's go.
Love it.
I'm all for this.
Yes.
love it. Let's go.
Okay.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Kate Piper is a dedicated professional with over 8 years in franchising and 16 years of experience in the business sector. Prior to owning her own businesses, Kate's career spanned across a diverse journey with a background in finance, corporate, community, projects, and political endeavours. The girl's done a lot.
Wow.
Kate's companies under the Piper Group banner include 24/7 Plus fitness gyms in Sunshine Coast, Brisbane and Townsville, along with event management arm of this company, delivering our favourite, the Tropix fitness show across Queensland.
It's the best fitness show ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kate is also the 2024 recipient of both the Franchise Council of Australia, Queensland and Australian Franchise Community Advocate Awards.
Ooh.
And that is a mouthful.
It is, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't condense that one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And my little added in bit,
Oh, yeah. Okay, go.
she's also proud wife to hot husband, Mr. Tropix.
Oh, yes. Yes. Bless his soul. Yes, I agree.
Mr. Tropix, Scotty Piper, bodybuilder, turned mammal. For those that don't know, middle-aged man in lycra.
Yes. And I love the lycra. I'm there for it. Yeah.
She is also a proud dog mum to the influencer, Little Miss P, the mini dash hound.
Yes, Penelope. Yeah.
She's a Gemini, so read into that what you will.
Ooh.
Yeah. Feisty.
If you're lucky enough to call Kate a friend, you'll know she's fiercely protective of the people she loves. If you come to her with your problem, and trust me, you will, be ready for a mirror to be held up to you in the most loving, compassionate, and absolute no bullshit way.
Yeah.
She will tell you exactly what you need to hear to move forward with love.
Yes, with love always.
She's a leader, a truth teller, an all-round phenomenal human, and I cannot wait for all of you guys to listen to her today.
Oh.
Thank you for being here, girl.
Oh my, what an intro.
I'm done now. I've done, that's all you all need to hear. No, that's amazing. Can I, I just want to hug you.
Oh,
You can hug.
Can I hug?
Yeah.
It's on the camera. Mwah. That's beautiful, babe. No, thank you. I appreciate that.
I've
So
got a
nice.
question though.
Yeah.
Did Paul intro you like that?
No, he didn't.
Well,
so
just saying.
I'll have a word with him later.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a truth that comes out in the podcast. So he didn't. Sorry, Mr. Hooper. Yeah.
not good enough.
No, thanks,
Well done, Mon.
Gemini.
Well done. Good job.
No, that's so lovely. Thank you.
But yeah,
That's
thanks for being here. And also another just amazing timing of the universe. When this podcast is going to be released is actually the week of International Women's Day.
Oh.
Yeah, wow.
Miss
It is.
Coach Kerry informed me
Put
of
it
the other
out,
day.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
We get to celebrate as all us women. don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so nice.
So it's cool. You're
It
here.
is very
You're
cool.
here as our representation of International Women's Day.
Gosh, that's a bit of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
I feel like you've done pretty good so far. So
It's all in my mini dash hound. Yeah, it's all her. But no, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
It's really lovely to be here, and as I said, it's nice to connect and share, and because you just never know who's listening and
yeah,
who might just need that little bit of something to know that they're doing well.
excellent. Where do we even start with all of that, Mon?
Right?
Yeah,
I
I
know.
don't even know.
I actually do know.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's planned.
Yeah.
It's a question Kate gets all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you told me about this, so that's why I'm going to start with it.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Babe, why the hell do you own gyms?
And yes, everyone asks me this all the time. And my answer always is, I never woke up one day and went, oh, geez, I'd really love to own a gym or 3. Like, that is just not... And I say that with all love and intent because I really love the industry, like, obviously. 'Cause
Yeah.
you've got to love it. You've got to have some sort of love. But I think the fitness industry can have such varying levels of love because you don't have to be an elite athlete. You could just be somebody that walks into a space, whether it's in 4 walls of a commercial gym like myself or at home, and they're just doing the right thing by their body, they're moving, they're getting that wellness.
Yeah.
And it's not something that we all live by every day. I mean, I don't. I was only just saying this week, I was like, I need to put in some extra effort this week, but we're all allowed to have that time. But no, I didn't, I never thought I was going to own gyms. I've always had that entrepreneurial flair. I've always wanted to be my own boss, and I've owned a myriad of different companies over the years.
Yeah.
My biggest thing was I wanted to be my own boss and earn money. That was it.
And this is why I wanted to ask you that question.
Yeah, I just wanted to,
Because how many people do you say, oh, why do you do what you do? And their response is, oh, I'm just so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And you know half the time, like, yes, sure, absolutely. But how many times do you ask women, why do you do what you do? And they say, because it makes me good money.
Yeah.
Like, money's that thing for a lot of women that they're like, I'm not going to talk about money because that's like a naughty
Dirty
subject.
word.
Yeah. It's so not. And I think as women, like, I have always been incredibly independent, and, touching back to that Gemini comment could have something to do with that. But I've always earned my own money, had my own career, never, and sometimes I think there's probably not the best way to be, but it's also great because you're always taking care of yourself. But I've always been independent and can do things on my own. And you always want to have the right people around you, like my husband, who is very supportive and elevates me, which is perfect. But yeah, it is about money. I mean, we do it because we have to survive. We have to live. And, I like a certain lifestyle, and I'm not afraid to share that. And I'm not, certainly not a millionaire. Hopefully one day. Don't think so, but I'm trying. But yeah, I just want to be able to enjoy my life and enjoy the life that Scott and I have built as well. So there is still passion there, and I've grown to love the industry more being in it since owning gyms, definitely, because there's now that element. I've always had the community background, and now I get to deliver that in the community side of our gyms and creating a space where everybody does feel comfortable and they can just be themselves. So, yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Love.
Can I ask which came first, Tropix or the gyms?
Oh, this is a good question. I love this one because I've been asked this before, and I actually talked about it in an event I did a couple of years ago. So here's a fun fact for anybody listening. You're going to get the tea. I'm going to segue momentarily because this is what I do. But so years ago, Scott and I have been friends for I think it was 18 years this year or 19. I don't know. It's been a long, long time.
Yeah.
And we've been together and married the last 7 years. But Tropix actually came first because back in the day, so probably, I think Tropix may be in maybe 1 or 2 years old. I don't know. I used to have the corporate career. I was working in finance because that's actually my background. So financial planning, finance broking, etc. And I always said to myself, I would stay in that industry until it killed my soul and I couldn't do it anymore because I didn't, whilst yes, it's all about making good money, but that industry will either make or break people as consumers, right?
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I was like, no, this is not for me anymore. It's not sitting well with who I want to be. And I thought, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 and I'm going to be a business owner. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. The problem with that is that you actually need to make money to pay the bills because you do that and then rent's still due.
Yeah.
So that was a bit awkward.
rude,
Yeah, there was a
really.
lot of hustling there for a while. But when I decided I wanted to get out into that world, I was already doing a lot of work with community and Chamber of Commerce and doing a lot of small to medium enterprise project work in Townsville. And Scott was actually one of my committee members. So I was on the chamber board and he was in my projects team and we were delivering projects around the city.
Yeah.
And I was very open about the fact that I wanted to be in events. It was where my passion was. I'm out. I'm doing this. And an opportunity came to actually buy a women's networking franchise in Townsville called Business in Heels. But I needed to learn. I needed to understand what that even looked like, because
Yeah.
I was in my early 20s, like this was a long time ago. So Scott actually started mentoring me, and the first product and event that I ever learned about was Tropix.
Wow.
And that's how I started in the event space.
Yeah.
So he actually mentored me through that whole process, and then I went off and bought this franchise and started doing events, and then the path, like our pathways obviously continued to grow in the corporate sense because we were doing so many things. But yeah, so Tropix actually came to me when I put it in the universe. I manifested and said, I want to be doing this and I want to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because Tropix, it's a fitness product, it's an amazing show, but it's still a business, right?
Yeah.
So we're delivering a commercial product.
Mm-hmm.
And with my commercial background, that's where I came into the piece with, also giving advice on that side, because it was already happening. It was such a great product and we just needed to grow and elevate. So that's where I learned. So Tropix really came first very early in my career.
Yeah.
And I got to learn all those good things. So yeah.
That's
So yeah, Tropix
cool.
first before the gyms. Yeah.
I think if anyone's seen you backstage at a Tropix event, how hands-on you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because,
thank you.
but no matter what, you keep your cool head the whole way through.
Yeah.
Because no matter how things are going, it's so busy, you're always there, like,
Yeah.
helping every single person out.
Oh,
so yeah,
thank you, love.
you're
Yeah,
very
it
good at
is-
your job.
Thank you. And look, there's been some really exciting moments behind Tropix, like backstage when things have happened and you're just like, oh, this isn't going to plan. And it's not even anything to do, the show runs perfectly. It's just crazy things that happen out the back. And one of which is actually Paul Hooper and Joey Cantlin, just going to give them a quick shout out for putting oil all over plastic flooring so that
so
Paul
good,
looks
though.
really great on stage.
Yeah.
And so
Hazard.
I love them both, but at that point in time, it was because all these girls, we're all in heels and
Yes.
we're slipping and sliding like a bloody God knows what. I'm having to cut up plastic. There's hundreds of people backstage and I'm cutting up plastic and we're laying like carpet out of the bin trying to anyway. So those fun things happen, but I try and keep my cool. But at the end of the day, it's like, what do you do, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nothing ever has majorly gone, nothing's actually ever gone wrong with the show itself. Everyone always has
I was
the
going to
best
say,
time.
no one would know unless you were out the back slipping on it, which we were, but
We all were. Thanks, Paul and Joey. But no one
but
would
no one
know.
out the front would have
No
known.
one would know. And even, I think what that taught me is that because Scott is on that mic 12 hours straight, he doesn't leave. He very even rarely goes to the toilet.
Yeah.
So anything that happens, because he doesn't even have a mic in his ear, so he wouldn't know when we're on the radios and going, X, Y, Z is happening, or we need to change this person, we're moving divisions. So it all kind of needs to happen, and then we deliver it to him and go,
Here you go.
this has now happened. Judging team, this is now the change. And so, yeah, but thank you for that feedback. That's really lovely. But I love it because Tropix goes like that. It's like a 16-hour day and I feel like
Yeah.
I've been there 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's such a good day. But that's a great question. But that's how I came to Tropix.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit sideways. Yeah.
So because of like Scott's background as a bodybuilder,
Mm.
is that why then the gyms was like a natural progression to go into that?
Yeah, so how we were originally introduced to Plus Fitness was they actually, the first owners of the Townsville Club, so 8, 9, 10 years ago, they actually wanted to sponsor the show, and one of the manager and the owner at the time was part of the Tropix team doing some promo work. So that's how we were introduced to the product, and then about a year later, they wanted to sell, and we thought, well, this is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
And Scott does wake up every day prior to us owning a gym going, I'd love to own a gym.
Yeah,
so
okay.
can I just point out it was because of
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to pay gym memberships anymore, and I
I mean,
so
that's one way.
let's save $21.95 a week and go spend $250,000 on a gym. That's a great idea. We've just saved
I feel
so
like
much
the bill
money,
is
babe. So
very
much
different.
money. Yeah, I know. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Do you
And
know
then-
what? I think that's why Scott and Paul get along so well, because that would be Paul's
Yeah,
train of thought
theory.
as well.
Yeah,
He would think this.
that's exactly right.
my
And in
God.
my mind, going, oh my god,
Boy maths.
yeah, it
Boy
is boy
math.
math. Yeah, I can. Well,
Oh my
they now
God.
get girl math. He is now permanently going to get girl math for the rest of his life. But so he always wanted to have a gym, so that's why. And then as we kind of got into the network and we kind of became known as the fixers of the network, we would buy underperforming clubs and then transform them.
Yeah.
And that has been quite stressful over the years, but it can be quite rewarding too. So yeah, so that's how we sort of came into that plus world. From the show, I guess it was all connected.
So was it the Townsville one that you bought first, Douglas?
It was, yeah, Douglas. So that was the first one, and it made sense because it was the home of Tropix.
Yeah.
And then we had an opportunity to buy the one in Brisbane. So we did that. And then Sunshine Coast came up. And obviously we've already got that connection with Sunny Coast because of Tropix.
Yeah.
Is when we originally brought that show down for season A years ago. So that made sense for us to base ourselves here, because part of the reason why we brought Tropix down to here was that we did all the heat mapping and the demographics for so long with Tropix, and a lot of our athletes come from this area.
Yeah.
So it made sense to bring the show to them.
Yeah.
Rather than the other way around. Don't get me wrong, Townsville was great. It was a destination. The venue was incredible, but that time has now come that it's down here now.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we moved it down years ago, and yeah, it's exciting that it's back this year.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So exciting.
It is exciting. So yeah. So that's how. Yeah. Not me buying gyms, but he just goes, this is a great idea. And how we've always worked so well together is he goes, this is a really great idea. And I go, okay, excellent. And I go map it out, operationally put it together, and then it all sort of works.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Most of the time.
And if not, you make it work.
Yeah.
Right?
Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
And then last year, awards everywhere.
Yeah, that was really unexpected actually. Because probably for as long as I can remember, I've always been involved in community. And I was thinking about it when I gave my speech when I got the Queensland one. My first memory of being involved in community was I was in school and I got up in front of assembly to give a speech about supporting the Fred Hollows Foundation, or the Eye for an Eye. Yeah. So my grandma was involved in that, and I started raising money for it because I was young and I was like, everybody should see. Everyone should be able to have eyes, So that's how I first got involved, and that was like my first experience doing community work, and I probably would have been, I think it was grade 8. Yeah, so just yesterday, because I'm not that old. And then as kind of time progressed, I got involved in more community-based, like fundraising and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I then probably my next biggest thing was I did Angel Flight. So that used to be, I mean, they're still around, but it was quite a big organisation years ago. And they actually connected with a pageant, which was like a great way to get their word out, but it was Miss Congeniality. And it was an Australian Awards, and they did 1 year in Townsville. So I participated, competed, whatever you want to call it, and raised money for Angel Flight through that. So that's kind of how I got involved, and then I won the most likely to succeed trophy, which I was like, back in the day, I was like, oh, that's really nice. And then everything just kind of progressed from there. I used to volunteer at the Townsville Hospital. I would do the trolley service every Saturday. Then I got involved in the corporate community work with the Chamber of Commerce's and the board work, and creating, helping create income for the towns and things like that, and different commerce projects. And then, I'm owning businesses. There's an avenue to give back as well. So the Franchise Council of Australia, you don't, as a franchisee, you can't nominate yourself. So our head franchisor nominated me. And when they nominated me, I was like, oh, this is so lovely.
Yeah.
Like, that's nice. I'll fill out the paperwork and I'll send it in. I didn't think anything of it. And then they said, oh, you're a finalist. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty special. And I'm thinking, that's great. And then I won it. And I was like, oh. So I had no speech prepared because we were in Brisbane. When they put the name up, and I thought, oh, they're just like running through the finalists, but it was actually me winning it. And I was like, I better get up. I was like, I'm getting up. So that was really lovely. And then I went on to the finals, and this was an Australian final. Like, I mean, I didn't even think, I'm up against all these other franchise, like huge companies. And I couldn't actually attend the awards, and then I won this. And I was like, oh, that's a bit awkward. So anyway, our head office was there, so our general manager accepted on my behalf. But it was so lovely to be, but it was also a really great way to acknowledge all the community work we've done too, because that, I think, is a really important part of owning businesses, because you have to give back.
Yeah.
So that's how the awards kind of came about. But it was a combination of everything that I'd ddone prior to getting into franchising, and then everything we've done since I've been in franchising. Yeah. Because every year we try and do something to support local community, or a few things really. So
Great.
Yeah. So that's the awards.
Wow. Love it.
Yeah.
There's just so much.
I know, where do we even get? What else do we add in here? Yeah, there is so much.
I know, there is so much.
Yeah.
I know, and it's been a really big journey, I think, from being a woman in business, because it's not easy. Like, forget the gender side of it, but just being in business in general is
Yeah.
really, really tough. And, you know, we've been through, you know, I mean, you have the GFC and all that sort of stuff and how that affected the commercial and economic climate. And then you come into pandemics and, you know, everything kind of flows on and there's always kind of something happening. So being a woman in business, I probably, like, from my early career, obviously being in finance is a very male dominated world. So I learned very quickly how to be independent and stand my own ground.
Yeah.
But then since then, being in business, I've always made sure I've supported myself and surrounded myself with really the right people, which is not easy to do because there will be people out there that will always try and do the wrong thing because that's just how they're built. But from a business perspective, I've always made sure that my mentors have always been very, have a diverse background. It's not just one lane. They elevate you when you need to be elevated. They check you when you need that as well. And it's not a tit for tat. It's more of a, we're going to do this together and we're going to make sure we succeed.
Yeah.
So, because I always say it, partnerships is so much easier to do business.
Yeah.
And I think the fitness industry, people struggle with that because there is very much that, this is my territory. And don't get me wrong, I struggle to walk into other gyms. Monty and I talk about this all the time. But that's just because I own a gym and I need to train in my own gym. But I have absolutely no issues with engaging and supporting another gym because I think we all have our space and we all have something different to give.
Yeah.
And I think women in business and other female business owners on the coast in any industry, you know what you're good at.
Yeah.
So celebrate that, focus on that, and let everybody have their own space. Because we can't do everything. Like, that's just not possible. So pick something that you're good at.
Yes.
And, you know, that will work for you. You'll get the right people. So, yeah.
So can we please talk about the Tropix as well?
Yeah.
She's busting.
I know, she's like, so...
She's like, back to bodybuilding.
I know, and you know what? The funniest thing is, so I love Tropix so much because it is, for me, it is that passion because I learned from it. And so many things, even now, I still look back on it and how much it's evolved. And Scott really and the team, you know, and there's some OGs that have been there since the very first show and they're still part of the team. I mean, it's 12 years. That's a long time to still be doing something.
Yeah.
And he just created this phenomenal product and I was so grateful to learn from it and be part of it. And also, like, help with it and create that commercial base for it. Because as we said, it's still a business. It's not a hobby. And I can talk about that for days. But anyway, we won't because we'll talk about the fun stuff. But bodybuilding, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not an athlete. Like, I don't compete. I gift myself a sword and, like, a trophy every time when I'm setting up the show. Beforehand, I get up on stage. And I'm like, oh, well done, Kate. You know, like, help bring the show together. And then I'm like, okay, it's not mine because I haven't done the work. But I actually do that. And the team are just like, oh, my God. She's up there again.
I love that.
Before every show. And Scott's like, babe, put the crowns back. Put it back. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it. But I just love it because it's just that moment of, I love celebrating every single person that steps on that stage. Because you don't need to, like, yes, there's always a winner. There's always a first place. It's the sport. However, the person that has still done all the work and they're going to walk up there and they may not place and they're going to get their achievement award, they're the people that we do it for because at the end of the day, they have done an incredible job to get there.
Yes, definitely.
And they still did it. And I can say to them, I'm like, girl or guy, I'm like, I haven't done it. Yeah. Like, and I actually did train for Tropix once and then I put my back out and it was because I do have a back problem. So my surgeon and my doctor were both like, you're actually not designed for bodybuilding. Like, this is not a thing because I have rods fused to my spine.
Yeah.
So it didn't go how I planned. But then I also realised my job in this is not to compete. It's to help provide that stage with Mr. Tropix for people to shine.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm not an athlete, and it's funny because when I talk to people, I can talk the talk and I can tell them all the things to do, but at the end of the day, I'm all about the wine and cheese at the end. Like, that's the honest truth.
If anyone's seen Miss Kate Piper's stories,
I love
they would
a good
know
cheese
that.
platter. Like, it fills my soul, and I'm okay with admitting that. I'm like, I will still do my bit, and I'll still train, and I'll still be healthy and all that. But sometimes I like to have those vices. I just tell people I'm in my permanent off season now. That's it. Except for when I train with Bonnie and she puts me through my paces. But yes, Tropix is back.
Yes.
6th of September.
So excited.
And we're really excited. It was funny, last year was so weird not having it.
Yeah, it was
Um,
awful because I actually competed last year and I'm
and you didn't get to get on the stage.
No.
It was really sad, and I think when we obviously announced what, Scott's part retirement, whatever he wants to call it, which is not retirement for Mr. Tropix, but it is in some ways, because our nephew's stepping up through the ranks. So Braden put his hand up and said, I'd love to come through and learn and be part of it, which I think is really lovely to have that legacy.
That's really cool.
And Braden was introduced to bodybuilding through Scott, and years ago we used to own a Ninja Warrior studio in Townsville, and Braden used to work with us every weekend, and we had a gym upstairs because, we had 4 gyms everywhere. We had a gym at home, we had a gym at the studio, we owned a gym. I was like, there was too much gym. There was too many bits of equipment. It was everywhere. And so they used to train. So Braden went from this 18-year-old skinny redhead to next minute, he's this bodybuilder. So he had all this, years and decades of knowledge coming out of Scott's brain and then put into the current science of a modern day trainer.
Yeah.
And he did really well. And that's how he found that love for it. So he used to hang out with us and train with us, and then he became part of the shows, and eventually he will take the crown and run with it. But when we said to the team in Townsville, it'll be our last show in Townsville for a myriad of reasons, but it was predominantly commercial. That venue up there is very expensive.
Yeah.
It is
It the entertainment centre.
Yeah, it is. So it's like, oh, please give us $50,000. Here's a shell off your pop. It's a $250,000 event. You can't hide that.
Yeah.
And I love Scott's passion behind it, but he's like, every year, let's get bigger screens or let's do this, and I'm thinking, oh my god, we're going to take over the whole arena, and we basically had by the end of it, we'd taken up so much space. So, but they've gone through a change of hands and were sold and now owned by one of the hotels. So it's very hard to work with them for what we need, because it's a very specific way we do Tropix, and so we needed somebody that just basically said, here's the key, have fun.
at it,
And that's what our venue here on the Sunshine Coast did. So that was really exciting. But, when we told the team that we were wrapping up, they were so, grown men were crying. And it was so lovely to see. But I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I was like, do you need gin? Do you need something? What do you need? Because
it seems to be your go-to.
It is my go-to. But I was like, and it was at that moment, I thought, oh my gosh, we've taken something away. The team were devastated. And they just love it so much. So I said to Scott, I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, Scott was like, oh, this is weird not having Tropix. And we went through the whole year, and we were coming up to when we would normally be doing all the stuff. And he was like, my baby's gone. It was like this. So having it back this year, I think, is going to be really great. And he's already so excited about it. I mean, every spare moment he's got, he's working on the new portal. He's working on, the app, because we obviously shut that down, but it'll come back to life. So he's doing all the things with that. And it'll be really fun to celebrate everyone again the way we want to.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we are unfederated. So, yeah. It's going to be
So
exciting.
cool.
It just goes to show how much people truly loved it, though. Because like you said, 12 years is a long time, and these are people that are volunteering. It's not a high paid job. It is literally volunteer.
It is.
Yeah.
And as athletes, I know the Tropix show. I used to tell everybody, you have to do the Tropix show.
Yeah.
It is the best show. It was always my favourite, and we've all openly said that.
Yeah.
And
That's so lovely.
when your crew is that upset that it's ending,
Oh, yeah.
it's just...
And I felt so sad. And I will admit, I had a good cry when I went back too, but I was like, it was just an interesting emotion.
Yeah.
One that was unexpected. That's why I was like, usually I'm like, I know how to handle this. But I was
Yeah.
like, this is not what I was expecting. It's a celebration. And I actually, at the farewell, I don't want to call it a farewell because it's now back, but we always do a team dinner or a team party.
Yeah.
So every show, and we take the whole team somewhere, and everything is on us, and that's our thank you to them. And we take care of our team all through the year. It's not just one night where we go, oh, this is really great, but if we can do things for them and we can celebrate with them, we will. We had a Christmas party last year in Townsville. We had some of our Tropix team come, and we didn't even have a show last year, but we still had the people there and celebrated them. And I actually had a trophy made up, and I went through all the years that Scott had the show in Townsville and worked out all the athlete numbers and like how many entries and everything, and
Wow.
it was like a little star and gave it to him. And but that's what set them off. If I hadn't done that,
yeah.
it probably would have been
It's
right.
your fault.
It's my fault. And then the waterworks started, and all us girls are going, oh no, it's usually us crying. What's going on? But the team are so, like, and no one will ever give up their spot on the team. Like, if they can't be there, they're like, don't, like, you can ask someone else to cover, but it's still mine. Like, it's my
but-
spot. Like, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Because people have to work. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine. But every single person, like, they're still there.
Yeah.
Like, because they love it.
Yeah.
So, and some of our actual originals who haven't been there in a few years because they're now mines, they'll be back this year.
That's exciting.
Oh.
So our OG backstage handling
Yeah.
team will be back.
How
So
cool.
that's actually going to be really cool. So yeah, it's but yeah, they're all pumped. They've already all put in leave for work. They've already like booked flights. Like, it's on. So
love it.
yeah, it's so good.
My two boys are going to compete
Oh,
with you. Yeah.
how exciting!
First time too.
Oh, love a first.
and my
time.
little fella's a little redhead, so there you go.
Oh, there you go. Well, he'll blend in. He will blend in. Love a redhead on stage. They just all look the same colour with the tan. It's fantastic. So fantastic. I love it. And I look at them and I think, yeah, I get it. Like, it's so good. So good. But yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. Well, that's exciting. I can't
Yeah,
wait to celebrate that.
we were really excited to hear you guys were.
Yeah, and
coming
look,
back.
it's obviously a lot of work bringing it back because there's also a lot of elements to it, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
it'll be the same, the same divisions that we all know and love and tightened up and all those good things. But then there's also like our drug testing because
Yeah.
we're obviously unfederated now, so getting a new drug testing platform.
Yeah.
And obviously who's going to be facilitating that, how we all those sorts of things. So, and
Plus you
luckily,
moved locations.
sorry.
Plus you moved locations.
Yeah, we did. We did. But you know what? I was really struggling to find somewhere that I looked at so many venues and I just wanted to find somewhere that we could do all the things that Tropix known for. The
Yeah.
banners,
Yeah.
the screen,
Yeah.
like all those things. And this place is wonderful. And it's for those of you listening at home, check it out on Instagram. But it is the Caloundra RSL. It's their Sunshine Coast Function Centre, like right next door. So the benefit of that is too, it's so user-friendly for athletes because if they've got family coming with them, they can get food, drinks. There'll be a bar inside, so there's the elements for the public, which in Townsville we had to bring in. Like we always had food trucks come in, coffee trucks come in, but now that's already there. So that's really important.
Yeah.
And, there's lots of hotels nearby that we can partner with, all the good things. So, but yeah, the drug testing, we've got, obviously one of our team, he works for Queensland Health and he is quite high up. He's in the clinical side, so he's helped me navigate the drug testing side. And I mean, he's the most overqualified volunteer we've got because he's like, but his favourite part is being on the door. He loves selling tickets and doing merch.
Oh, that's
But
great.
but he'll do the drug testing, and now
Yeah.
we're like, you need to go see the medical professional. But it's good because we need to keep that. We are
Yes,
natural,
absolutely.
and Scott knows the heartache firsthand of losing to somebody that is not natural,
Yeah.
and it's not a good feeling, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why we've always taken a lot of pride in doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I really love that you guys are going, okay, we're going to step the drug testing up
Yeah.
because it's stepped up from when
Yeah.
it was previous. And a lot of coaches and athletes have really been talking about this in the natural federations, that there's just not enough drug testing.
Yeah.
No.
There just really isn't. So
Yeah.
the fact that you guys are coming out going, we're stepping it up and we're going to talk about it. We're going to very openly talk about it.
Yeah.
And if you come to our shows and you're a drug cheat, you're going to get found out.
Yeah.
So don't fucking bother.
And it's like, it's all the stuff that it's not even just the drugs as well, because it's like mining drug testing. It's also like everything. So
Yeah.
I'm like, don't even have a drink before. I mean, they wouldn't. I mean, we never know. Maybe they do need a little shot of something to get them
Gin.
going. Yeah, exactly. I was like, but it's that level.
Yeah.
And look, I've learned lots about it
Yeah.
in the last few weeks, but it's good. Like we have to do it. And you're right. There's not enough done, and we want to make sure we're celebrating the athletes. And we don't want to let them
Absolutely.
down.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
because
good.
what a shitty experience,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and look, it's so hard now because the masking age is like, there's so many things, and the girls are worse than the guys. Like, honestly, they can cycle out, and I'm like, Jesus, like, and they cycle out so far out, and then they can still, be natural. But we
Yeah.
also watch social media, guys. Like, we will find you out. And people, like, we're not stupid. Like, I mean, you follow the trend, you're posting stuff, we look at it and we're going, oh, no. I'm going to have to test that one. So, yeah. So just keep that in mind when we're on socials. We're watching.
If you look too
love
good.
it.
I know that sounds a bit creepy though. We're watching you, but anyway, it's true.
But it's true
It's
though.
true.
We've
Yeah,
all seen
absolutely.
it where we've been at a show and seen an athlete who looks fine and then come back 2 years later and you're like, holy shit,
shit,
what
yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
And you go to their Insta and it is very well documented.
Yeah.
Not that they're taking things, but you can see
You can
their
see it.
progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a natural female who is in their 40s, that does not happen.
No, that's exactly right.
And-
that is exactly right.
And even with some of the guys, like we see it. You're putting it on your socials.
Yeah.
You're putting it out there. But also, be careful who you tell.
Yeah, I know, because we'll always get a DM, guys.
Yes.
We will always get it. And then I love it because I'm better
No,
than
don't
the-
be careful if you're cheating.
Yeah,
Tell
like,
as
just
many
tell us-
people as you like.
Make it easy for us, but I'm better than the FBI. I will find them. Love a good
Yes.
deep dive on social. Yeah, that's exactly right. I will come quick. Like, because, like, and also, sometimes we can tell, right? Like,
Oh, absolutely you can.
and you know, Scott will see them pull up at Rego, and he doesn't often show up at Rego, but he knows if there's a couple that are a bit questionable. Our team are well aware when they come up and they give their name. We're like, Mr. Tropix needs to meet you, and he's like, "Come on over here, mate. Like, here's our nurse. You need to go do a drug test because, like, you can tell."
Yeah.
And I was like, "How do you think you're gonna get away with that, mate?"
But even if you don't pick it up at Rego, when
Yeah.
they're on stage,
You will.
if
Yeah.
you are next to natural athletes,
Yeah.
someone who's
Yeah.
enhanced and has abusing that
Yeah.
stands out so much.
They
Yeah.
do.
They
Especially-
really stand
They
It's
out.
do.
almost insulting because you've got a bunch of you have a bunch of experienced judges as well on the panel, I
Yeah.
believe.
Oh yes, Mr. Universe. Big shout out to Rob. Big Rob. I know, but he knows.
Yeah.
You know, and he's
Yeah.
just like, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes 2 seconds, and then I get a quick note in the mic, and well, as soon as you get off the stage, you're gonna come pick a marble. Guess what? They're all the same color because you're getting tested. I'm gonna take the excitement out of it for you because
Yeah.
it's happening.
I love it.
Do you know what? I got tested
You
once.
You did. That's right.
At
What happened
Rego.
to you? Did Mr. Tropix come up to you?
No, but
He's like, have a marble.
that would have been like, I was like so excited though because he's like, put your hand in here and I pulled out the white one and me being naive first ever show had no clue what it was
No.
and thought I won a prize.
Did all the team go, oh, she's won a prize, all right. Hop into the little room next door.
Literally, I
Yeah.
thought I'd won a prize.
Yeah.
So
you must have looked
naive.
questionable then.
Oh, my.
I know.
No.
Yeah, no.
Have you seen those photos? I was so small. I still won, but I was so small. There was no steroid abuse then at all.
And clearly you weren't because then we went and made a core fluid out of you.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is downstairs.
It's actually hanging off
The
the
wings.
banister.
Yeah.
The Monty wings.
Along with the massive, ginormous Tropix banner
Yeah.
of the double-sized pool hanging off
Yes.
the wall as
That's
well.
exactly right. And you know that's the Tropics. I mean, but that core fluid travelled years with us.
I
It went up
know.
and down the coast, went to Cairns, went to Mackay. Monty went everywhere.
I loved that because I'd always get Instagram tags. of
Literally,
people taking selfies with it.
Every season, I know that when we were up there for Tropics the last, like in 22,
Yeah.
we were like, money!
Yeah.
It's like,
So
here we go
funny.
again.
Yeah.
But that banner, I'm so freaking glad it's here because if it wasn't going to be here, he wanted to make it into a bed sheet.
What
Oh.
was it?
Yes, Paul
Yeah.
did. He wanted it as a quilt cover.
I'm not
sure.
Are you really surprised?
Tropics in your bedroom. I mean, maybe that's a new marketing
you
player.
do know that she has a Paul Hulk
I do know.
pillow, so
Yeah.
I mean,
He
I'm
wanted
I'm
to
really
make
not
it.
shocked.
Well, I mean, and it would make. I mean, it's pretty thick and true. It'd be warm in winter. Like, let's think of the benefits here.
Maybe even a couch throw more.
Jake would be so
Oh, yeah.
confused, be like,
Yeah, he'd be like,
What?
"What is this? Is that Dad? Why is he so orange and big?" Yeah, that would be fabulous, though. I mean, I'm not going to
No,
say no,
you're not-
but I do love it hanging up.
he
'cause I
listens
like
to this
looking at it.
podcast. You're enabling him right
Yeah,
now.
I know. Well, I mean, yeah, don't do it, Paul.
No, thank you.
Do it. Wink, wink. No, don't do it. It's crazy.
It looks great hang up in the gym,
It
right?
does,
Yeah.
and I love seeing it. When I come here, I love
Yeah.
it. I look up and I think, oh,
Yeah.
memories.
But that's the cool thing about the Tropix show.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many athletes get their banner
Yeah.
and be like, oh my God, that's me.
Yeah.
And then you'd see them walk in, they're videoing it, and it's
I know.
it's
wild.
giving back to the athlete.
It is, and I
Yeah.
think, especially those ones, because obviously they have won, you know, and they are they are true winners, you know, and they need to be celebrated. And who doesn't want a giant banner for themselves? Like, I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. They are a lot of work, though. I will just say, because it's a lot of work to get them up there, and they're very heavy. But they're so fabulous.
But I think that's the thing is Tropix does well.
Yeah.
It celebrates the athletes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, Scott being an athlete, he understands how important that is. Because all the things, all the learnings, I mean, God, that man was on a diet for like 9 years straight. He did 37 shows in a row.
Wow.
Like that's insane. I mean, that's, man ate chicken like every day for 10 years. It's wild. The same time.
You're like, where is the cheese?
I know. And I just say, like, now he's like, oh, just chicken and broccoli for dinner. And I'm like, with a little bit of soy sauce. Some for Kate here. And God, even Penny loves chicken. And I think, look at the two of you. She's going to be a bodybuilder. And that's my mini dash hound, for those wondering. It's not my child that I'm force feeding chicken to at a young age. But yeah, he knows how important it is for the athletes. Yeah. And like even our backstage, like, and I know
I was going to ask about the lolly table was my next question, Kate.
So can I just say, like, we've now removed Mr. Tropix from the lolly situation. One, because he likes to eat all of it. But two, so Andy is so good at backstage management. I mean, if you have not met Andy yet, you need to meet him. He just knows what's going on and he loves it back there. He understands, like, he is that detailed that he goes through the scheduling and the run sheet, and he will know what type of lollies to put out, when to put it out, when we need to pull back, because we know we're going to have some hangry divas coming in afterwards and they're going to want some stuff and they're not competing next show or whatever. He actually manages all of that. Yeah. So that everybody's always gets something. Because he's like, well, you don't want to get to the end of the day and then there's like one red frog left. Yeah. Like, so it's, So it's like, that's the level that, you know, and, you know, just managing the drinks and then not only that, but he goes and talks to all the athletes.
Yes,
and
he does.
He makes them feel so comfortable, and especially the first timers that are shitting their pants, thinking that they're going to fall over and die on stage. And they're not, but they feel it, right? They think they're going to. So he's so calm and just loving backstage, and I think that's one of our point of differences as well. Oh. But he and I have been working on the lolly selection over the years. And I think it was the second last show we introduced red licorice. Like the little, Anyway, Scott was like, nobody's going to want the red licorice.
Oh.
Right? Like, no, we don't need that. Why do we get them like this and this? And Andy's like, sit down, Scott. Like, this is my day.
Back in your box, mate. You go deal with
I will give you some red frogs off your pop. And they love it. But he's like, I know what people have been asking for over the years. I record it. And I'm like, but that's the level, right? And that's what we should be doing.
It's amazing.
To give back to them so that they, you know, it's just little, but it's something, right?
It's not when you're a competitor backstage.
Yeah.
Like, or when you're a hungry coach, because I love red licorice.
I know.
And I was one of the ones who was eating it.
And do you know what? Like and because like on show day we don't eat. The judges eat, like obviously because we've got to keep them fed because that's important. But like for us, we don't stop and have a lunch break because the show doesn't stop. We don't have a break. Yeah. So for us, it is literally what's the quickest thing that I can eat, and it's the sugar and it's the caffeine, and we literally live on red frogs. Like, and that's one of the biggest jokes, but it's the truth because that gives us all the energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is going to be a great show. I'm really pumped about it. We have so much more content coming out. We've squared away a lot of things. We've got some partners on board. We'll release some stuff about the venue. Yeah. But obviously we are well, it's now season C, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Lord, when did that happen? 3 seasons. Next will be like season F, and I'll be like, what's that? It'll be like Christmas. About no one wants to die at Christmas. But for us, like, season A is going to happen. We're not going to change how we used to do things. Yeah. When we had B, we would wait until A is finished because we don't want to confuse the apple cart too. Mm-hmm. Everyone's focused on that. Tickets and things like that will all be released after season A, but we'll start sharing out. And look, I will give a little shout out for athletes that are listening. Tag us and stuff because we love actually, and we will start doing it again. We used to regram a lot of athlete content, and we want to start doing that again on our main grid and celebrating the people. We are unfederated. We get along with all the feds, so it doesn't matter where you are and where you've come from. Just make sure you're natural. However, tag us and we'd love to share it out because at the end of the day we're still celebrating what you've achieved and hopefully one day you'll get on our stage. If you don't, come to a show, see what it's like, or support somebody that is competing, but tag us and we'll share it out.
I love it.
Just go down and just go and
Support.
be with
Yeah.
Tropix, like the community aspect.
It is.
This
And
is-
see, community comes back to that.
It really does. And going even right back again, like the fitness industry can be very like, this is my bubble, that's your bubble, you stay over there.
Yeah.
And it's federations like this, or you guys, shows like this, who are trying to break that down and going, no, we're all here for the same goal. We all want to compete, we want to support, we want to...
Exactly.
Let's just celebrate each other and be happy.
That's exactly right. Because if we all work together, like
Yes.
life will be easier.
Yeah.
You know, because athletes are going to cross over different shows.
Yeah.
Well, it's
That's
like
what
let's
they do.
provide a stage for people who
Exactly.
have done the
Let's
work,
just
right? Because I
celebrate
know I never want to just do like diet down and do one show.
Yeah,
no one
you've
wants to
done
do
all
that.
that work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about celebrating people, and I think that gets lost at times. I think it gets lost in general in life and,
Yeah.
and in
Yeah.
business, but
Yeah.
especially when it comes to bodybuilding shows and fitness shows, I think people forget that, you know, you have done all that work for so long to get there. And yes, again, it's a business, but it is also about letting people shine.
Yeah.
Just show off their hard work. You did it then.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may only be once, or it might be a career, but we'll still, you know, make sure you feel special. So yeah, but no, I do agree with that. The fitness industry, I mean, I do think the Sunshine Coast does it very well. Everybody works together 90% of the time pretty well. And I think we found that in the shows. Look, there was a little bit of shock when we initially came to the coast and bought the Plus Fitness, because there were some gyms on the coast that went, that's the Tropix show, like how does this work? But that's fine. We'll still celebrate other gyms. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, yes, obviously we're the naming partner. Shout out to us on in Minyama on Nicklin Way for anyone listening on the Sunshine Coast.
Love that.
Castledine in Brisbane and Townsville. In Douglas. But obviously that's the naming partner. But there is the element, we will still celebrate people, because these athletes are training in other gyms.
Yeah.
So for those that were concerned about that, please don't be.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah.
still celebrate and support. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, you don't get bonus points for...
No, you
For training
don't.
at Plus.
And can I just say, like, it's so funny because we are not a bodybuilder's gym.
No.
And we've had a couple of athletes start to sort of swoon in, and it's funny because they do stand out.
Yeah.
And our regular members are starting to see, because we are a very community-based gym, and they're starting to see, and we have it on the TV screen, so they're asking questions, and they're like, oh, what's this? You know, and obviously we have our head trainer, he's competed before as well, so we're definitely starting to, you know, educate them, but the athletes stand out.
Yeah.
They come in and they're, you know, they are very close to competing or whatever it might be, but yeah, they stand out. So it's good though. We love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
I think it's good because I feel like when I first got introduced, obviously through Paul and Monty, to bodybuilding, you have this perception in your head as just like a general pop person, and then you get introduced to it, and it's like, this community is actually beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it's just amazing. So even if you don't ever want to stand on a stage, like, I will always suggest for my team to come and support, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
the guys on stage. I'm like, you don't have to step up there,
No.
but come and support it gives your friends a platform to kind of do their thing on, right? And it's so fun to like watch it, and the guys that have come and watched the shows before, they're like, oh my God, I never knew that that's what it was about.
Yeah.
Everyone's so nice, and I'm like, I understand how you feel right now.
It's, you've got to really come and see it, and like, you either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Like 100%. It is a very cut and dry, and it's not for everybody. But I think if you can just appreciate that the people that do get on stage, they have worked incredibly hard.
Yeah.
It's not just we just get fit, and it's not like a bikini model at like, you know, what used to be the wet t-shirt comps, you know, back in the day. I always laugh about that because there are some, and girls that have come over the years and they're like, oh, well, you know, like I was a promo girl in this, and I was like, yeah, no, you're going to stand next to these bikini girls and be like,
And they're
I am not in
ripped.
shape. Like it's a whole, bikini girls for us is a whole different level. Like, but it's still really lovely to support. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's not a Miss Malilaba pageant.
No.
at the pub.
No, it's not. It's not. But yeah, it is honestly just a really great community.
Yeah.
So yeah, come on down in September.
Love it.
I think the Tropics as well is one of those shows where you can actually, as in the audience, like someone just watching, your friends and family, that you can actually stay there all day and watch everyone else.
Yeah.
I think it's an entertainment factor as well.
It is.
Because my parents stayed there all day.
Oh.
They just watched everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
so did-
family stayed when up in Townsville, the last one up in Townsville. My family stayed for ages
It's a
because
show.
they're like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
But Scotty's really good at telling people what they're looking for too.
Yeah.
So I think that like some of the shows kind of fall down in that aspect. They just think that everyone in the audience is there and they know what's going on stage, and people are like, I don't know what they're looking for here.
Why did she just get moved?
Yeah.
Why is she down the end? Why is she now in the middle? Why are they back on that line? Like, why is there a yellow line?
And why is that person winning? That one didn't. And
correct. Yeah. There's all those things, but he is really good with that. And he's been on the mic for like, I want to say he came out of the womb on the mic. He loves it. Like, he loves being on the mic.
You can
and
tell.
He's so good at it.
You can tell.
And then obviously, like, he was in politics for so many years, so he is very comfortable being in front of people and talking to them. But he also just loves it. So he loves telling people what's going on because he finds it really interesting on stage and seeing over the years how the physiques have developed and changed, and the science. It's so different to when he used to do it. I mean, for God's sakes, he used to load the night before a show with KFC and pizza. Like, and eat whole chickens.
We've had a few conversations about those.
And now it's like, no, have some Cocoa Puffs and a coconut water or something. I don't know what it is, but it's bloody something that's not chicken. Like, it's just wild. So, like, he appreciates the evolution of the product and the industry. So he loves to share that with the people that don't know what they're looking at.
Love it.
I know. It's so good. That just went really quick.
It did. What else is happening? So we've got obviously Tropix coming up this year.
Yes.
What's happening with Plus?
Okay, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
We've just been doing really boring but important stuff with the clubs, like replacing roofs. That's not exciting because
what about the door, Kate?
Oh yeah, the door. Like, I just accidentally broke our emergency door, and my husband had to grind it down with a grinder whilst poor Kerry was there starting off her daughter.
The roof thing is funny though, because you went through a phase there where there was roof issues constantly non-stop, things falling through the roof. You had to have a whole roof replaced.
Yeah, the whole thing got replaced. And then, so that was at the end of last year. So 15 months I'd been working with this roof replacement. Anyway, we got it. And it was, and then I think it was it was this, actually, no, I'll tell you exactly. It was 2:30 in the morning on the 16th of January. I was going to be like, it's like a couple of weeks ago, but no, I'm still living this trauma. And our roof, just in this gym on the Sunshine Coast, got struck by lightning. Now, most people, me especially, because I'm a little bit woo-woo, and my manifesting, I went, what have I done? Tell me what I've done, universe, because it's retrograde, like, what's happened? But anyway, I got struck, and it killed everything in our gym. Like, I mean, proper fried
Except for people.
Except for people. Thank God there was no one in there. Could you imagine?
Let's put that out there.
No one died in the making of this lightning strike. No one was in the gym, thank God. You would have absolutely crapped your pants.
I mean, that's an understatement, but okay.
Like, proper trauma. So yeah, it just killed, like, our front door went down, our security system blew, our cameras blew, all our TVs blew, our music system blew up, our amp in our server box. And when Money and I were on a walk, and I walked in and I was like, oh, that smells like wire burning. I was like, excellent. And our server box was just like literally sizzling. I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. So that's been really, I'm not going to lie, traumatic, because like, as business owners, anyone out there listening, I mean, it's just a lot. Like, and it's stuff that's out of your control. So you know, but the members have been so good. They're so supportive of us, and they know how hard we work. But so that's been really good. We're about to do some renos in that gym, get some new flooring. We are going to go through a refit process. We've got new branding, new colours, and our Brisbane gym will be the first cab off the rank with that. So it's all blue and black and greys and LED lighting and really sexy play turf. It's going to be great.
I saw a little sneaky sneak you put up with one of the other clubs that you'd visited.
Yeah.
And it is bougie.
Yeah, it is bougie.
Like, it is, like, when you think Plus Fitness, you kind of still think a little bit that orange.
Well, you think of orange in 1970 and you just don't like it.
It's, but the new stuff is really nice.
It is a vibe. And look, I have got very minimal. We've still got some of the old branding, and we're going through that transition. So I still have like these little odd bits of orange in my club, but it's like one pole because I hate the orange. I was like, just one pole, that's it. Everything else is blue and grey. But I am really excited because we're going to do some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, new equipment and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be really fun. But yeah, Brisbane will be out in Castlemaine in the Homemaker Centre. That'll be our first cab off the rank. So that club will be done.
Lucky Bris Vegas peeps.
Yeah, I know. It's so fun. So they're excited. And so am I, because it just, you know, you've got to keep it evolving.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you know, the only downside is that it costs money. I mean, it's so rude that things cost money.
It's really
so rude. So, you know, we obviously have to raise capital for it because we're small business owners. We're not millionaires. So we're in the process of doing that. And then, but next month we will get new flooring in Minyama. And it'll be really sexy grey, which is so exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. And the roof, you know, is now intact.
New stuff always feels so good though.
It
Just
does.
clean.
And I want to give, you know...
Because gyms are so dirty.
Yeah, because you know what? We're 24 hours a day. Like,
yes.
And it kills my soul a little bit because you just clean the toilets and 4 hours later you're like, what has happened here? Like,
you think about how many people go through it.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, we've got hundreds of members. And so for us, like keeping that hygiene, I mean, in our team, we really pride ourselves on having everything clean all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, it is a daily thing. It's not we'll just wait a couple of days and see what happens. It's, we dust every day. We clean the bathrooms every day. We deep clean, but yeah, there's constantly people in there. So it doesn't really matter what you do. It's always going to be a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
But, But no, Plus is going to be very exciting this year. So I'm hoping that, we'll do some great things once we start getting that underway and, celebrating that. So watch this space on that. Follow us on socials. My marketing manager will be like, mention the socials.
I was going to say, so do you want to give the tags out for Plus Fitness?
Yeah.
Are they all different ones? Or?
They are slightly. So Minyama is at Plus Fitness Minyama, like on Instagram. Castlenine is at Plus Fitness Castlenine. And Douglas is slightly different because we just like to be different in Townsville. But it's at Plus Fitness _Douglas.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. It's just that pesky little underscore, which I wish I never had. And then Tropix is obviously at the Tropix.
Yes.
So, but yeah, follow us along, and we've got some good things happening this year, so it's going to be great.
Exciting. What a big year for you guys.
Yeah. We've never not had a big year though. Like, I don't even know what not having a big year
I was going to say,
anymore.
would you know what to do with yourself?
No, she would not.
No, I would not. And it's funny because every year we have done something. In the time that, well, even in the years that we've just known each other, but even being together, something has always happened. And massive, not just little things. Like we've bought a business or we've relocated cities or bloody Scott decides to run for politics and now all of a sudden we're running a campaign for years and we've got fitness shows or there's something. Yeah. We never have a dull moment, but that's what we like.
Yeah.
We're hustlers.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah.
And the one year you don't have a show, you decide to get a little dash hound.
Yeah, see, now that's what happened last year. That's what happened. We got Penelope. And can I say, a little shout out to her if you do want to follow her along as well. The little Miss P _dash hound. But she's now got 4,500 followers. And now
she has more followers than me.
Am I shocked though? No, because she's
adorable.
divine. Yeah.
But now I'm getting all these endorsements. I actually need to manage her. And I don't have the time. So this has actually now become a thing. And I'm actually missing out on endorsement deals for her because I haven't had the time to manage her. So now she needs her own assistant.
Yes. She needs a manager.
I know. She's already got two deals, but with Pet Paws Australia, 3. She's got a sock company as well. And she puts her face on a sock. And then she's got the Mahidro pet supplements. But there's people constantly messaging and I just don't have the time. I need to find the time because, like, she needs to start earning a wage.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
she goes to daycare twice a week. She needs to...
We were actually discussing, we're like, maybe she should bring Penny in then.
Oh,
and then Monty's like, no, she's in doggy daycare on
She does.
Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays she goes to daycare at Fur Kids. Shout out to them too because they're amazing. But no, she would have been an absolute menace in here. She would have wanted to be on the mic, in the camera. Like, she would have wanted to be center stage, which I love. She's definitely my dog. But it wouldn't have been about anything we needed to talk about. And it would have been me being a mum voice, like, oh, baby, don't touch that. Oh, mummy loves you. Like, because that's my life now.
We did have Jakey on last week, and he just chilled on the floor with us.
Yeah, because he's a good boy when he's just calm. He's calm.
Until something happened and he barked at absolutely nothing, which is terrifying in here. So.
Yeah, because we've been so loud. Yeah.
Can you please tell the listeners about Penelope's birthday?
I was about to say that.
Okay. Now this is going to make me seem like a complete nut job, but I'm so okay with it. I'm so okay with it.
Because the 6 crystal bracelets you're wearing don't make you seem like a nut job.
Anyone see them rattling? Yeah, I know. I've already charged them this week. They've been out the sun. I told you I was a bit woo-woo. No, I have. And this
Money
current
put the
stats-
incense on for you.
I know, and I'm looking at all the crystals. I might have to breathe them in as I leave. She's the kid. We don't have kids, so I'll just preface with that. We do not have children, so she is our child. So she did turn 1, and I will admit I didn't realize how much effort was going to go into it. I think it was like at the 3.5 hour mark when I was into trying to do a photo shoot of her in a tutu after I'd baked doggy cupcakes. I realized that my life was not what it used to be. It was just, I had a moment of, to add to that, then I was calling daycare to say, she is on daycare on Thursday, it's her actual birthday. I am going to be bringing in cupcakes. Like, would you need to know the dietary requirements for all the other dogs? Because I'm very specific about what she eats. And you know what? It was normal. Like, these people are like, this is very normal. So I'm like, okay, so then they contacted all the parents. The parents were so excited. People were going into daycare. So other dogs were being admitted for daycare that weren't even due on a Thursday, but they wanted to have a party. They came wearing outfits. And she had a birthday girl badge on. Everyone had a hat. Oh, wow. And we did do this. Yeah, it was a thing. But I did do a full photo shoot at home. She had a pink tutu. She had a crown. She had a pink glittery bow. And then not only that, like I put up birthday. I mean, it was like a child's birthday. I had happy birthday, but everything was Dachshund themed. And
of course,
we had balloons, and Scott was away, but for work, but I asked that he actually fly home early to not miss his daughter's first birthday. Wow. So he did come home early because he's a good man.
What a husband.
So flew home at like 20 to 4, and I was like, got to pick her up at 4 from daycare. She had the best day ever. And then we went home, and I'd wrapped all her presents, so we sat there like a family opening her presents. And then she'd never seen balloons before, so Scott was like playing soccer with balloons with her. So it was, look, it's absolutely insane, but we had the best time.
Sounds very wholesome to me.
It was, and do you know what? Like, we actually had, it was just really nice. Mm-hmm. And I think moments like that, like, even though it might be a bit ridiculous dressing your dog up, I love it, and she loves it. But it was just really nice because you don't worry about what else is going on in the world. It was just the 3 of us, and we were having fun.
Yeah.
Like,
so good.
What's not to love? But that was her birthday. Yeah.
So will Penelope get a brother or sister?
Yes. Oh, yeah. But I need, she's turned 1. She's a little bit, I found out, I think she's like resource guarding. I think this is the thing. But she gets quite, she loves to interact with other dogs. But if I'm with her, she gets, like when we're out walking, she just loves to talk to everyone, but talk too loud. And not everyone wants to be her friend. She hasn't worked that out yet. So we'll do a bit more training with her, and then we'll get her. I was going to get her a sister, but then I found out bad things about 2 Dachshunds together, so it might have to be a brother. I did find one in Maroochydore. I named him Harold already. Now I'm like, he should come home with us. Harold and Penelope, but not yet. But maybe. I don't know. He's still available.
Yeah.
I think that maybe, I don't know, Scott, this might be.
My dog is small, and he barks at all the big dogs.
Yeah.
So does Jake.
But when she goes to daycare, not a problem in the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what dog's there. She's like, hey, bestie. Like, no barking, no anything. But so, and I always think, as humans, I don't like everyone. Why should she like everyone?
Yeah.
She doesn't need to like any other dogs. Like, but then she wants to like them, and they don't want to like her, so then that's
the problem is that when you walk down the street, you don't go, hey, you're a fuckwit.
Exactly. But I think when she's barking,
so she needs some manners.
She might be saying, hey, bitch. Like, and I'm like, baby, don't do that. And then I'm like this crazy dog mum that's like on the ground where they're going, baby, don't react. Like, I love you. Like, be a good girl. Like, it's just wild. I've turned into, when I was making cupcakes and then like trying to film her eating the cupcakes and then like putting her paw in it and then like licking the spoon and stuff. And I thought to myself, you own 3 gyms, an event management company, you've worked in politics, you've done all these things, and this is now who you are. This is who you are. You've become the crazy dog lady that took the afternoon off work for 3.5 hours to bake cupcakes. Yeah, that is now cupcakes.
I just love it.
Yeah, that is who I am.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I want to say, though, I feel like this has just always been in you and has been waiting 100%. To come out, because when you got Penelope and she was a baby, you were carrying her around in a baby sling on our walks.
I took her in a sling. I did, and because I was obsessed with it. And she was like a little baby. And can I say, at Christmas we had a lot of family there.
So tiny.
She was so tiny, and she's still tiny, but like we had too many people in the house. So there's actually a photo of Scott with the puppy sling on and Penelope in it at Christmas, and he's got a glass of wine in his hand. And I thought, now that is man energy right there.
And also New Year's.
Yes,
when
that's
we were
right.
there.
Yeah, he did do it because he loves it. He secretly, like, how I got her was a little bit wild, but she is daddy's girl, and he knows it too. He's obsessed with it. I love it. He flies home from a work trip, like had to change his travel plans and everything. Told his friend, I've got to get home. It's my daughter's birthday. Doesn't need to know that it's a fair one.
Should it matter is really the question.
No. Exactly. No, not at all. Not at all.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Penelope.
Before I dive into the final question, ladies, do we have anything else we'd like to ask Kate?
Oh, we could be sitting here for hours
I
asking
ask a
Kate
quick
questions.
one?
Of course you can.
Hypothetically, if you did compete, which division would you compete in? Which one's
Are you
your favourite
asking
then?
what's her favourite?
Yeah.
What's your favourite? Or where could you see yourself on stage?
It'd be bikini, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I'm a diva, so it would fit my
It would
personality.
definitely suit you.
And the problem with me, because my back, I'm not symmetrical. So with my back problems and my rods, part of it, because it was scoliosis, but it was really bad and I had to have surgery to essentially put my spine back straight and then put the rods in, and I had to learn to walk again, all this, and this was when I was 12. It was just wild. And when you actually look at my back, I'm not, and I've got one, I call it my chicken wing, like my shoulder blade still pokes out. So I don't even look, like, do you know what I mean? Like, from a judging perspective, I'm not, like,
put together
structured. Well. Yeah. I don't want to use the word normal because I don't like that. But I'm not, yeah. So I think bikini would be what I would compete in. And I also think it's because I'm so curvy, I may even have to do wellness because I've got a booty. Maybe I'd have to do that. Yeah. Because wellness, probably wellness as well. But either one of those, if I ever decided to do it. I still enjoy just giving myself a crown at the beginning. It's much easier.
I mean,
it's much easier.
And
much
you still
less
get
stress.
cheese and wine.
I do. It's a good balance. Yeah, and gin. It's a good balance. Yeah. Good question though.
Love that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, lovely. Our final question.
Okay.
So I'm going to read this one so I don't forget it.
Okay.
So this is a question we asked beautiful Hayley when she was on the podcast.
Yeah, she's fabulous. Love that podcast, by the way, Hayley from Bailey.
So it's a question we're going to ask every one of our guests. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say. Because at the start you were like, I feel like it's going to be a good one. So, and if it's shit, I'm going to call you on it.
Okay, love that.
So the question is, what's a daily habit or routine that has had the biggest impact on your success?
It's boring, but it's the truth. It's my to-do list. Every single day. I have an ongoing to-do list in my OneNote, and it's on my phone, and it's on my computer, and it's always open. Like, it's never not open. And everything is very structured. It's color-coded. It's, like, in my categories, which, like, is it Minyama? Is it Sunshine Coast, Townsville, Brisbane? Is it Tropix? Is it... I even put my groceries on my to-do list. I have a home to-do list. Like, everything goes on there, and it's the first thing I look at. I'm trying to get better because as soon as I wake up, I look at my phone, and it's usually my to-do list after I've checked all the cameras in the gyms to make sure nothing is blown up overnight, because that does happen. And then I look at that and I go, okay, what am I doing for the day? And it's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes I start spiraling with my own thoughts and thinking all the things I've got to do. But then I also sometimes feel like I'm in control, because I know XYZ has to be done by lunchtime.
Yeah.
But I've always done that. And even when I was like in my first career, and I used to be, my very first job was in a pharmacy, and I was the Revlon counter girl.
Oh my God! I was a Revlon counter girl too.
No. Were you?
Yes, I still have the badges.
Me too.
What just happened?
I know what just happened. It was at Friendly's Chemist back in the day, which I think is now like, I don't even know what chemist is. They got bought out like probably 10 times. But I used to get a little notepad, and I would write, I'd clean all the glass down. I'd be ready with all the samples and my testers and all my new lipsticks and all the new product that come out, and I'd write a list. And I've always done it. Even in school, like, it was the first thing I ever did, because I always feel like I am so high functioning. Everything is always in my head, and I need to get it out. And if I don't get it out, I feel like I'm not I'm not achieving.
Yeah.
And I stress myself out.
Yeah.
So if I put it down, and it also has to always have a little box that I can tick it. So I can, and sometimes if I haven't done anything, I actually put things on there that I already have done just so I can tick it.
Oh my God, I actually listened to a podcast and this guy, he's like super successful as well, said exactly.
Oh, really?
Yep, exactly the same thing you just said. So
yeah.
his is a to-do list and he's like, and sometimes I won't do anything on that fucking list. So I put things like brush your teeth and like go to bed and like, tick. And just so he can tick some stuff off for the day.
Like, because I need to feel like I have actually bettered my life in that particular day. And again, there's probably like a million things that is also bad about those things, and there's probably like some sort of trauma resource that comes behind that. But it works.
I know I'm doing doesn't matter.
Well, no, that's exactly right. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's what I do. So it's kind of boring, but it is the truth.
I actually love it.
I don't think it's boring at all. And
I do have evidence if you want to check it's true.
Oh, no, it's so fine. I want to know about the color coding though. I'm like, so like, anyways.
Yeah, but I was like, I love the color coding.
This is actually really important though, because I even put on my stories this week, and Kara, you replied to it, was I had a day where I was like so overwhelmed. I was in a uni class and I just had in my head this permission form, this thing, and it was just it was so loud. I couldn't focus on what I was supposed to be doing. So I just sat there, opened up my diary, and I just started writing. Everything that came into my head, wrote down. And I remember I used to do this where I was like, okay, set myself up and my pad is next to me. And I had forgotten to do it for such a long time. And I feel like in this modern world, we are so overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's too many things.
There's so much going on. And I think if you can get it out of your head and somewhere else, then you have just a little bit of relief.
That's exactly right. And that's why, because someone says, oh, like, can you do this? And I'll say to my team all the time, and if they listen to this, which they're going to, because I'll say, oh yeah, I'll do that when I get back to the office. And
doesn't happen.
They're like, she ain't going to do it.
No.
She's not going to do it. So then I'll get an email, hey, just letting you know, like you said you're going to do this today. I'm like, shit. If I don't put it in there and then, and I color code, because I actually color code what I think is like the theme of the list. So Tropix is gold because it's now gold this year.
I love.
Like then the gyms are like grew. That's a new color. That's a great blue. Okay, trademark that when that comes out. That was me. Grey and blue, and so then I also have I go like light blue for the ocean, like Sunshine Coast. But anyway, the gyms, and then like our home life is like a mixture of pink and like a deep blue for Scott, and like just all these different. So I know when I look at it straight away, I go, okay, like I needed to, I don't know, pay something today, like my car rego, it goes pink. It's my home life. Like, and that is just a quick way for me to, when I'm looking at stuff.
Recall it.
Yeah.
But now as we've got busier, I even have like the new to-do app on Microsoft, and it actually sends me reminders on my phone.
I love
and I can like mark it as importance and flag all my emails, because the amount of emails I get every day across all the clubs, plus my own email, plus Tropix, and then the Piper group, it's like death by Outlook is a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love to just flag it, and it automatically goes into my to-do list, and then I can color code it.
Love it.
So
Love that.
Love it.
Yeah, and then sometimes I don't even look at it. And
You say it's
shit.
boring. We all think that's
I
like
think
one of the
it's
best
fascinating.
tips ever.
And I'm honestly sitting here going, why the fuck did I not think to color code my to-do list? Because my calendar, as you're talking, explain that my calendar is color coordinated. I have a color. I have a color for Paul. I have a color for the kid stuff. I have a color for work stuff, and then my work stuff's broken down to other colors.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I'm like, why is my to-do list one fucking big list with like bold headings? That is so dumb.
I remove it all, and it all has its own area, and it just. Because then I also don't get overwhelmed when I open up and go, holy shit, there's 50 things on this. Like I go, oh no, there's only, and I can mark things as important for my day.
Yeah.
So I put it in as the top, and I go, oh, I have to achieve 4 things today.
Yeah.
And whatever they may be, but I've got to do them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do.
I really like that, because like I said, it gets it out of your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it stops you laying in bed at night and just swirling in your head.
Yeah. And because I wake up, I mean, I'm bad for sleeping at the best times, but I do wake up and check the gym cameras and do all that sort of stuff because I'm a psychopath. But I do like to make sure that the roof hasn't fallen in, which happens 2:30-16.
I know another psychopath that just randomly checks gym friggin' cameras too.
Really?
In his hang on. I'm actually gonna stick up for Paul. Please have this on the record. But we have an invisible spider who swings past the camera and sets it off all the time.
Is it a spider or is this potentially, I don't know, the universe?
No. So that's the alerts. No. I mean, he actually checks the cameras.
Oh, like he gets
Often.
up and I do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's so, it's the
That
last
doesn't
thing
surprise me.
No, because I'll be like, when I used to do posing, I'd be here posing. And he'll just be like, I'm just see if Monty's still at the gym.
Yeah, he'll be like, oh, hey, I know I do it all the time.
Or I get random messages and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Or he starts talking through it.
Yeah.
He barked at me once and I'm like,
I've actually done that in one of our gyms. I've had to speak to a member through the cameras because they were being naughty.
oh.
But, yeah.
What was they doing?
Oh, God, I wish we had
They
a
weren't wearing clothes. And that's an actual true story.
Oh my God.
Yes, and that was in our Townsville gym, and he had this. He just had an aversion to wearing pants and shirt, so he would sometimes be in his undies.
Yeah.
I get it, but...
Yeah, and I was like, but it's, and I just got so frustrated. It went on for weeks, and we were trying to sort it out with him, and he would be good, and then he would kind of fail. And then one night it was like 9:30, and I was just about to go to bed, and there was other members in there, and I just got on the camera, and I was like, could you just put some pants on? Like, could you? And the other members are like, yeah. I know, and it's not my finest hour, and I was like, oh, what have I just done? But I was like, that felt really good. Like, give me that mic back. But it was true. I was like, mate, there's people in there.
Yeah.
Like, wear pants. Like, come on.
I wish I'd asked you what's the most weird thing you've seen in the gym.
And that's not even
right.
That's not even the weirdest. But anyway,
Oh
that's for
my
another
God.
podcast. But yeah, there's been some weird shit over the years. But anyway, but that's one of them.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
So good.
But thanks for having me, gals.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming,
I
Miss
feel
Kate.
like there's so much more we could talk about. Maybe we'll do another one. No, I'm kidding.
No, we will do another
Like a
one.
feature like every second week.
We have a fourth chair.
It's
Be a member.
It's so good. We call it our therapy session actually.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's nice to know what other
Good
people are
girl
doing.
chats and
Love it.
I know, and my husband is eagerly waiting to hear this. I already got a message saying, "Don't get off topic." Come on.
Has he listened to our podcast before?
Yeah. And when
I feel
and I was like, "Come on now!" Like, of course I'm going to get off topic. And the Tropix team know about it too, because the time that you did talk about Tropix and you mentioned Andy, I sent that to him, and he was like, "Oh, I've been mentioned. I'm famous." I'm like, "Yeah."
Can I just say, Andy needs an assistant. I'll put my hand
I know,
up as
and
well.
you know what? He would love that. He would love that.
You
He
should,
loves
Carrie.
it. You should do it.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I get promoted?
Yeah, well, I got promoted. Well, you can, do you know what? That, like, yeah, you're in the group. I'm just going to do it.
Okay,
You're
thank
now
you.
with Andy.
Okay, thank you.
There we go. So
You've
I'm-
manifested this.
You'll have to learn the ropes, though,
I know.
Carrie.
He's going to be like, now is the
I
time for
didn't
the
realise-
extra row of Pepsis to come
Yeah, I
out.
didn't know he was so meticulous about it. It's so
is
good.
Yeah, and he even, like, when he comes out, he knows even the timing to come and get the judges' food. Like, he knows, and even how much they eat. I mean,
It is-
Rob eats, like,
It is
cartful.
legitimately the best lolly table ever.
It is so good.
Yeah.
We
It
spent
just has
hundreds
really
and
nice
hundreds of
hugs
dollars
as well.
on it. He
Yeah.
does the best hugger.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Andy, you were a great hugger, my friend.
I love
Yeah.
this.
I know, but no, thanks for having me.
Talk
I had
about
a
not
blast.
getting off topic. Well done.
Oh my god. It's so bad. But I could talk underwater. So I'm fine. I mean, just leave me here and I'll keep going. I mean, like, so listeners, here is the time where I did something ridiculous 14 years ago. Yeah. Anyway, it might not get you any more followers. But no, I will stop now so you can wrap it up.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
You
Thank
good?
you. Yeah.
You too good? Yeah. Are you sure?
7 hours later, we're good. Yeah.
Well, listeners, I hope you're good too. And thanks for sticking around if you're still here.
I know. If anyone actually gets to the end of this podcast, please comment.
Congratulations.
I'd love to know, because it's an hour and a half, and please send a comment, because I'd love to know, because you deserve an award.
Well done.
Free gym membership at Plus Fitness Vinyama, call me.
Oh.
We'll see if anyone listens. I will honour that. I will honour it. Yeah, come on down. Yeah.
Do I count?
You were here. Oh my God, so funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And thank you so much, Kate, for being here. We love you and appreciate you giving up your time to be here.
Thank you.
You're a very busy lady, especially the Plus Fitness having their sale. So we really appreciate.
Yes.
you
It'll
being
be
here.
over by the time this gets aired, but keep an eye out for the next one.
Yeah, but if you're still listening, you get a free membership anyway.
That's exactly right. Stick to the end. I might have to do a little teaser. So they listen.
So again, thank you again, everybody. We know you love this episode, so share it with everybody. Share it with everybody just you want to have a laugh with, really. Anyone, share it to the socials, all the things. Oh my God, my brain's not working anymore. Tag us, do all the stuff.
Tag the world.
Like,
Tag Plus
subscribe.
Fitness, tag Tropix.
We will put all your tags in the bio.
Yes,
We're
please,
not going to repeat them because there's too many there. But yeah, until next time.
Yeah.
Queen.
We got you.